It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
Ho ho ho! Let's review. Ho ho ho!
We'll analyze the scene.
Sounds holly jolly to me.
Before it's over, let's begin.
Bum.
Bum.
Yeah, season's greetings, fellow armchair imagineers. Tiki here.
And BlueDragonFive.
And since the Christmas season is upon us, we thought the way to celebrate and get into this holiday spirit would be with some holiday reviews.
12 to be exact, decoratively divided into 4 categories for your Yuletide pleasure.
So, without further ado, silver up those bells like the multicolored lights, and go out and build a snowman to join us as we get into some seasonal shenanigans!
Ah! And
So what do you think? Was that Halloween jolly enough for you in the song?
Sure, you could have sent a kid down a slide. I think that would have just tied it all together.
Oh dear, oh dear.
But so, folks, today our category tonight out of our 4 categories is Christmas classics, and tonight are a huge Christmas classic that everyone's pretty much sick of. But there is some fun that's most definitely in there to get one of the people fed up with it. A Christmas Story, a beloved classic by many or seen by nauseam.
Yes, yes. I think this is one of the most overrated movies in the public consciousness, to tell you the truth. This is just one of those things where, to me, there are so many things I don't like about this movie, where it's like, I think it's about as good as Fred Claus. I'll give it that much. I think it's about on the same level of quality filmmaking as Fred Claus is.
And I disagree with that.
I'm really starting this out right. I'm really going controversial on this. I don't know. It's like everyone goes nuts for it, and that certainly peppers my opinion of this movie. The fact that everyone is just like, and I don't know. Maybe I just saw it too late. Maybe it's one of those cases, kind of like Ghostbusters for me, where I saw it kind of after I heard about everything, and so watching it, I was kind of like, oh yeah, there's a scene I've heard about, I don't know, but let's get into it though. Let's get to the thick of it. Well, first of all, you want me to give you a little bit of a summary of what we have to go on?
Yeah, summarize the story we all know.
Okay, well, the story we all know is that little Ralphie on Christmas once above all things in the world, a Red Ryder BB gun. And he goes to great lengths to get it. Apparently all the adults in his life, through his childlike imagination, go to great lengths to keep it from him. Whole bunch of funny vignettes ensue. Lots of suggestive lamps and whatnot. Yeah. Is that a good enough summary?
That's really good, yes.
All right, cool.
A little bit of background, just to kind of couple with our synopsis here, fun little facts. So this is Christmas Story is done by Gene Shepard. He's a writer and a speaker. He usually now I don't know if he to be honest, I don't know if he's around now or not, but I assume he is. I could be wrong. But the point is, he would go around colleges and he would read these short stories and give lectures and speeches about them. And he did a lot of holiday-themed stories, and basically he's basically Ralphie, pretty much. And in the movie, he's the narrator that is basically adult Ralphie. That's Gene Shepard doing the reading for us. And he actually has a little cameo in the movie. He's the guy in line that says, "Hey, kid, the line starts back there." That's Gene Shepard.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
So pretty much the combination of A Christmas Story is three. It's mainly 3 short stories. I believe, if I'm getting this right, it's the fight scene between Scud Farkus and Ralphie. That's one of the stories. That's the big one. Flick's tongue getting stuck to the pole. What's another one?
God.
And I believe the third one, I'm just going off the titles, and I'm assuming I'm talking about the right scenes with the titles. The last one was kind of like the shoot your eye out scene, but it wasn't one he actually does. What he was forewarned about. That scene, pretty much those are the 3 ones, and anything else has been kind of filled in by additional stuff. And he was involved in the movie. And one little fun fact before we get into it, that Jack Nicholson was originally going to play the old man, the father.
Yeah, I think that would have kind of been a trip.
Yeah,
I mean,
but I
I'm
love
glad we ended up with what we ended up with.
Yeah, I love
Great,
Darren
but,
McGavin as the
oh
old
yeah.
man. He was great. And one last thing to mention is that we got some crappy sequel. We got one crappy sequel and one halfway decent sequel after this movie.
And also, I want to point out that the director of this film is also the cinematic mastermind behind Baby Geniuses and also
Porky's.
And also Super Babies. Yeah, Super Babies. Baby
And actually a good movie.
Too.
Porky's.
Porky's, yeah. Okay, so let's dive into some character dynamics, shall we?
Sure. So, main characters, I was going to run through just the names. You got Ralph, the old man. You got Randy, Ralph's brother. Mrs. Parker, the mom. Miss Shields, teacher. Schwartz, Flick, and Scott Forkers. That's all the characters we care about, at least. And so really good dynamics. Ralph and the old man. Of course, we all cling to kind of our paternal, fatherly bonds in movies and such. And this is definitely a good relationship. The dynamic they got going on.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with Ralphie and the old man is, like, the old man, I don't know, like, for my money, is he a little bit, what's the word, a little bit, like, grizzled and hard-edged in certain scenes?
Well, remember, this is kind of set, it's loosely set in, like, the 40s to the 50s setting. So
I thought they said late 30s, early 40s.
Well, the thing is, they never nailed it. They actually, from what I hear, they kind of regret they didn't nail it down to an exact year. But they kind of, it's within the range of 30s to early 50s. That's at late 30s, early 50s. That's in the range.
Okay.
So the point is, that, like, in that time, that was fathers. They were always hard working the whole days, didn't have a lot of time with the kids, and they have warm moments. They're more so like kind of grizzled warm moments. So that's kind of how I understand true to the period.
Well, yeah. I think Randy is a little brat, and I hate him.
Well, I think that's intentional, though. That Randy's he's a little.
I know it's intentional, but to me, it kind of makes the movie unenjoyable in certain
He's the element that the parents always laugh at, like, oh, yeah, we had the siblings that noticed like that too.
Yeah, I know.
That's literally his whole role in the movie. So he's eating sloppily. It's really all we care about from the kid. And he's really a plot device because he has that scene and the other main scene he has when he's bundled up and the thing can't move. That's about it with this kid.
Right. Okay.
And I think he's wearing a goofy hat. That's about it.
Who else do we have?
Another great dynamic. So again, Ralph and the old man plays in Big Time because an element I really loved about it. If I can. I'll save it for later. Never mind. Another good dynamic is Ralph and his mom.
Yeah, this is a sweet dynamic for sure.
Yeah, she has a really good arc. These two have a really good arc too. Because at first, technically, she's the villain of our movie. Technically, think about it.
If you want to look at it that way, I guess.
Well, I'm not saying she is. I'm saying she's not counting Scott Farkas. Sorry, not counting.
Yeah.
I mean, like she's she's the big obstacle getting in the way at first of our character's goals, which makes her an antagonist. More like a Mr. Potato Head in terms of like ranking our antagonist. Just antagonist.
Yeah, right.
I suppose that'd be the proper. It's like how in Toy Story there's no bad guys. Mr. Potato Head's the closest thing we got.
Well, come on, Sid.
I mean, Sid, we're not going to get into that, but the point is that
Sid is a total bad guy.
You're right. He's bad, but he's kind of misunderstood too. I'm not going to get into it anyway.
Well, we have that whole debate with Fred Claus, so.
Right. But the point is, Ralph and his mom. She starts out, basically she's the mom who's giving the point at the lodge. If I get you that, if you get that gun for us, you're gonna shoot your eye out. It's dangerous.
You'll shoot your eye out, kid.
And he just writes her off as, she's not getting the thing, and like she's just she's a lost cause with that. She's basically being a hindrance to everything going on right now.
Oh yeah. Then
she sticks up for him in a very integral part that we're going to mention in our scenes. Really, she's there for him, and they get past their stuff. And he realizes, no, she's not out to get me, but she still is standing in the way of what I want. It's kind of a problem. So it's kind of it's a realistic mother-son relationship, which I kind of have with my mom at times, most definitely.
Sure.
I'm against her a lot of the time. Do you want to? One other relationship, the mother and the old man.
Oh yeah.
That's a good one. Oh, well, some of my favorite scenes.
The old man in general is the most entertaining element of this movie for me. I will give it that much.
To be fair, he is the best part of the movie.
Yeah, yeah.
He's the reason. I think he's the reason we keep coming back to watch it.
I mean, if that was the case, it's the thing that annoys me about this movie is like how many scenes are just like so like hammered over. Right? Like, hey, remember the kid got his tongue stuck in a bowl or to dirt?
Well, look, to be fair, I mean, we're probably saving this for bad, but we all know my bad thing's the same thing as your bad thing for this movie. It's just oversaturation, so let's get that out of the way. But
Oversaturation of what exactly?
just the movie that's everywhere around the holidays. That's
Oh yeah,
I think that's
sure,
our
absolutely.
that's what I mean by sorry, that's what I mean by oversaturation. But
I thought I didn't know if you were talking about something within the movie.
no. That's literally the only bad thing I can personally say about the movies. It's everywhere. And I can't blame the movie.
Hey, it's fucking 48 hours of a Christmas Story. Let's just play Christmas Story for a week straight.
Hey, you're right. I'm saying you only need to play it like maybe 3 to 5 times on the. No, actually, sorry, not 5 times. Sorry, I'm thinking both days combined. You got me thinking that. Now I'm saying like 3 times max a day, like at different times.
Right, exactly, yeah.
Morning, afternoon, and night. That's what I'm saying. But maybe a 4th time for like around midnight when everything repeats.
It's just not a movie to me where, I mean, it's enjoyable enough, and I certainly see why. It's definitely got Christmas. It's definitely got a lot of nostalgia to it.
Oh yeah.
I'll actually compare it to. I know you don't like Wes Anderson that much, but I'd like to kind of make a comparison between this and my personal favorite Wes Anderson movie, which is Moonrise Kingdom, which both of those movies kind of have a very, very specific look at childhood through a very specific, like, lens. And I don't know, I recommend Moonrise Kingdom to you, even if you don't like Wes Anderson's style. But,
Well, there's one thing something to say about the character. Between the old man and the mom. I love this. I mean, it's kind of almost a similar arc to kind of Ralph and his mom almost. It's pretty much we see they're at odds a lot of time. It's really nice. This movie. I don't want to say holds up on the real because we've seen it too many times to say that. But let's just say rewatching it. The mark of any good movie is you find new things every time you watch it. However, I think we've watched it so many times. I think it's just gotten a little old.
At this point, yeah.
But what I'm getting.
I mean, to tell you the truth, I fucking avoid it. So I've only seen it like maybe 3 or 4 times total, including the time I watched it for this. So I don't know. For me, there's probably plenty of shit I'm missing. I just don't care.
Okay, but the really good dynamic between the mother and the old man is that they, it's a look at the kind of the old relationships between the mothers and the fathers way back in the day from a kid's perspective. He's not noticing on this, and the film's not directly pointing that, but it's there, and you rewatch it, you see the emphasis, like the tension building between these two of like, she's jealous of a plastic lamp, and she's jealous of a plastic lamp. The father's not always there. He's the guy who deals out the punishment. She's just trying to keep everything straight. A lot of stress, or a lot of things building underneath. And at the end, really around the holidays, it's all worth it. At the end of the day, for these two, and they love each other very, very much, and they get distracted by their roles in that society. I think is the underlying message with their dynamic. He's like, they're stuck in these roles, but once they have a moment to get past those roles when they don't have to do anything, like around the holidays, towards the end, after the holidays happen, they just have those moments to linger. It's just, this was good. We love our family. It's just been nice.
Absolutely, sure.
Yeah. So let's get through some scenes. You go first, Iggy.
All right, I'll go first. Okay, well, the scene rewatching it that just made me absolutely laugh out loud was a very specific scene that takes place in the classroom where the teacher's passing back. What are they, notes to Santa or what? They're notes to Santa, right?
Well, your project is to write. I figure it's like a paragraph. So it literally might just be a paragraph of what you want for Christmas.
Okay.
And why? It's a report of some kind. You're right. What you want for Christmas, but
And of course, the narration, is all picking up and melodramatic, like, oh, this is going to be my big opportunity. And then he gets it, and that's like C+. And I love I have issues with the narrator that I'll get to in my program.
When I was a kid, I thought it was Adam West.
Oh, my God.
When I was a kid, I thought...
Well, C+.
Because it's kind of like Adam West when he would get into like long public service announcements, or when he would like go on like really like quick. When he get like
Right.
really intense. It sounded a little bit like Alice when he would go. I got a greeting card once, like a Christmas card that played like sounds, played clips from the movie. The narrators say the Red Ryder BB gun, or like something along those lines.
Red Ryder BB gun.
And it sounds a little like Adam West to me. You get like, oh my god, is it Adam West? No, but.
Oh gosh.
Minor thing. So yeah, narrator does a really good job in this movie. I think.
I have my issues with the way that they use it, but we'll get to that in the pros and cons. But anyways, so he gets the paperback. Like I said, it's like C+, and the narrator really goes like C+. Oh no, it can't be. And then I just crack up when he looks up at the teacher. Well, first of all, does he see the witch before or after the "you'll shoot your eye"?
Yeah, he sees the witch. He sees the witch, which is the teacher first. Says, "Oh my first." He first says, "No," and then he looks up and says, "You'll shoot your eye." Oh no, did my mother get to her? And then you see Ralph's mom dressed.
And she's like dressed in this ridiculous
it's a Harlequin costume.
A Harlequin costume, yeah.
You'll shoot your eye.
Oh my god.
You'll shoot your eye.
Just ridiculous.
It is. It's hilarious. Again, it's from a kid's perspective, which is a logical logic. You know how much I love that stuff.
Oh yeah, of course.
That's what a kid's gonna drift off and kind of picture some wacky things sometimes. Like he's gonna think, she's being mean. What's the meanest? What's kind of the most evil thing I could think of being a kid and like kind of unambiguous.
And it kind of fits the time period too. That the Wicked Witch of the West would be.
She would be the Darth Vader of that time.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, certainly. And Harley Quinn just it's kind of like Punch and Judy type stuff, kind of classic, like playing card type stuff. Perhaps kids would play cards.
Yeah,
believe it or not, kids would play cards back then. Anyway, so
I just played Texas Hold'em with my mom like a week ago, and I really loved it. Like I'm like, oh, I miss playing games.
Yeah,
but anyways,
kind of going off to kind of the fantasy element. One of my favorite scenes is indeed one of the fantasies. Because that's more of kind of like just he's imagining something. But this is more of like there are periods in the movie where he would like imagine like kind of these grandiose fantasies, like him like shooting burglars and stuff. But my favorite one,
right.
My favorite one is basically after he gets the famous soap in the mouth for saying "Oh fudge," but he didn't say fudge. that whole scene. There's a bit where basically he says, "Oh, they'd be sorry if." I'd make him sorry. Years later, pretty much, I guilt him with something. Then he's dreaming or he's daydreaming before he falls asleep, I guess. He walks. He's a blind, pretty much. Apparently, he's grown up to be a blind, but it's literally the kid.
Oh, okay. I remember what you're talking about now. You were trying to tell me about this scene before.
Yeah. So the kid literally he's dressed like he's an adult, a full-grown man. He's blind with a cane and everything, and sunglasses. He's walking in. I love the father.
1 second while you describe the scene.
Sure, want me to keep going?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I love Darren McGavin in this scene, and pretty much what McGavin's doing is he has like a mug full of something. Probably he's just drinking. He opens the door. Nothing phases him about Ralph. He just dressed up in this getup and everything. He says, "Oh, hey, Ralph," welcomes him in. He walks in and pretty much he's saying, "Oh, what have you been up to?" Just casual. Then it dawns on them. It's played so much like a soap opera. It's like, oh, but. What's wrong, Ralph? He says, "You're blind. Oh, it's so horrible." And everyone's overacting. It's in the kid's mind. It's hilarious. And pretty much saying, "Oh, Ralphie, it's sort of whatever brought you to this lonely place? Was it something we did? What was it?" Says, "Oh, I can't tell you. I can't." And then. And then he says, "Okay, I'll tell you. It was what, Ralph? What did we do?" Again, so played him up. "It was soap poisoning," and the music's slow. "Oh, I told you we shouldn't have used Lifebuoy." It's the most ridiculous, absurd thing, but it's the logic from a kid, and it's just really funny. I mean, out of all that, the Western one was cool, but I tell you, it was just. It's played so dramatically, and even the kid winks to the camera, saying, "Yeah, fine, no blindness going on." It's ridiculous and it's fun.
Okay.
Okay, next scene. You're on.
What's my next scene? Okay, my next scene would be Well, this is probably one of the more famous scenes in the movie. It is the famous encounter with Santa Claus.
Bum bum bum. Ho ho ho.
Oh, I love how this scene's set up. Like I just
Ho ho ho.
this might be like the very like one of the prototypical uses of like the angry, like mad, disgruntled Santa. What do you think?
Oh yeah, something to remember with this film is that what the director said on many occasions. Again, I told you, he made Porky's, and Porky's is a really famous rated R comedy.
Sure.
And pretty much the way he pitches this film to people, the way he describes this film, is that pretty much it's Porky's with kids as your main characters. It's more family friendly Porky's pretty much as kids. That's
I've
the way he
never seen
describes it.
Porky's, so.
Well, pretty much it's young guys getting into sexual related trouble.
Well, that's what I figured. Yeah.
Yeah,
So.
but anyway, so yeah, pretty much it's just like what if those kids.
Red Ryder BB gun with sex, essentially.
Well, I mean the leg lamp kind of fills in for the sex, but the main point is like instead of like teen boys, it'd be more like kids in the main role, and pretty much they would like curse at each other, but wouldn't be like even in Porky's they didn't curse them much, it's just more sexual content. So
Sure.
But anyway.
All right. Well, anyway, so yeah, Ralphie, they go to the store. This is Ralphie's like last chance. It's his last ditch effort. He's like, oh, I know. I'll go to the man himself. I'll go to Santa Claus.
Actually, I'm trying to think it was in my scene or not when he realized that. Sorry, I forget why he realized that he was in bed or something. It says Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
But they get to the mall. Of course, it's really crowded. The mall is named Higbee's. I wish it was called Hugbee's. Seriously, I wish that mall was called Hugbee's. Hugbee's.
Hugbee's. Okay, don't turn us into saying Hugbee's because you know what's going to happen if we do that. Okay. But funny little note about this scene. You'll notice there's a weird kid in like aviator goggles in line with him.
Yeah. Oh God, that kid's really creepy.
Believe it or not, I don't know if you know this or not. That kid, he wasn't scripted to do anything. I don't know if he might not even have been hired. I mean, he might have just been brought in. He did all that weird stuff on his own.
That's amazing if that's true.
All this stuff was improv, pretty much.
Because that kid is one of the most genuinely awkward kids.
Like when he went on Santa's lap, he literally did that. Like he just screamed like bloody murder when he was on Santa's lap, and he went down.
Oh my god!
So that kid did. Now, yeah, I kind of commend him if he was doing that intentionally or not. Anyway, sorry. So basically, they're in line. Really, it's really nice setup they got there, dude. It really takes into the step.
Great setup. It goes all the way to the front of the line, and then you see the Santa, and he is just pissed off.
We should mention.
Huh?
I'm sorry. I was going to mention like kind of the stress of this all is pretty much like it's 5 minutes before closing, which is why Ralph wants to get up there real fast and like you thought.
Right.
Santa Claus. He's like, oh, if I have one more.
He's like, I am not going to stay a minute after 6.
Yeah, exactly.
And I must say, Blue Dragon, I've had a very similar experience to this at Disneyland because I was in line for the Beast, and the Beast ended his shift before I got to him. And that was traumatic.
I don't have to tell you how many times at Comic-Con that has happened to me. Pretty much you miss someone just by... I literally have a whole story I'm not going to get into, but basically I almost met Kevin Smith and I missed him by that much.
Oh, man. Oh, that's
brutal. And I had like a thank you... I had like a 3-page fan letter for him and everything. Anyway, so I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yeah, so the point is, the elves are like take like the teen. You can tell like they're teens just earning a paycheck pretty much. Come on, here's what's funny. They have these really goofy get-ups that pretty much the bells like directly in their face. It's like made to piss you off. it's pretty much come on, kid. The store's gonna close. And look, the camera angles are all.
Santa is just like the most like disgruntled Santa. He is just not doing any favors to these kids.
The camera, it's really well shot. The camera's like closing in like from Ralphie's POV, and pretty much like it's like going in and out. Like it's so scary. Okay, then what happened?
So Ralphie gets up to Santa, and this is the big moment. He's just like, well, doesn't he freeze? Yeah, he freezes at first, right?
Just, no, my mind's going blank. I don't know what that is.
Everyone gets all pissed off, like, come on, kid! Come on!
How
and then they send him down the slide, and then Ralphie's just like, oh no, what?
Remember,
What is that? No, I can't let this happen. Then he goes up the slide and he's like, I want a Red Ryder BB gun. And then, of course, Santa utters the most famous line of the movie. He's like, you'll shoot your eye out, kid.
And just Ralphie, he is. First of all, he said that he wanted a football. Saying, how about a nice football? And later I was like, no, football, no! Pretty much just, Santa literally, it's like the most disillusioning thing. The music cue, like, just emphasized, like, like everything's been drained out of Ralphie, pretty much, right now. And pretty much the single says, the shot of this is great, just seeing it from the POV of the kid. Just saying, like, I think he said, Merry Christmas or ho, ho, ho again. He says, Merry Christmas, then taps him on the head with his boot. Not going down the slide. So, it's so great. I love the idea of like the kid just like saying like, no. It's like such a comic book moment almost of like, no, I'm not giving up. It's like it reminds me of the moment in Finding Nemo where Marlin says, "Oh, I didn't come home so I didn't get eaten." Sorry, minor comparison. Anyway, okay, another.
Yeah, really quick.
Okay, I love the scene where Ralph's mom pretty much saves him from after Ralph beats up the bully, beats up Scud Farkas. His mom pretty much saves him, but like doesn't tell the mom. Sorry, the mother doesn't tell the father like the discipline or anything. Pretty much shrugs it off. Boys have a fight. Yeah, it's fine. Pretty much doesn't tell like all the gruesome details and whatnot, and it spares him, and he realizes mom's on my side. And real quick, just one I have to get in there. I love the tree decorating scene when they're decorating the tree, and my favorite quotes are in the scene.
Yeah.
Pretty much like the breaker comes out, he almost falls over with the tree, and he has this great line when the breaker goes out. Don't anybody move!
Okay.
Alright, your scene?
Yeah. Oh, my scene? All right. Okay.
It's your scene.
This is the last one, right?
No, I have one after you.
You have one, okay. Okay, well, my last scene, just because I couldn't really pick one, because those are really the only two that stand up to me, as being, like, super funny and everything, is, I just like the ending, and I like the whole build-up with the turkey, and, I gotta say, I really do love the whole plot line with the dad and the dogs. That
the Bumpets and Hounds.
What, he calls them hounds?
Well, hounds or dogs, I think they might have been hounds, but the Bumpets and dogs.
Oh, yeah. It just has such a beautiful payoff, because it's like throughout the movie, the dad gets established as a turkey-holic, and you see him like looking at the turkey throughout the whole last act. And
mother can sense it from upstairs. Don't touch that turkey, it worms.
And then, of course, the mutts get in, and yeah, the turkey is completely destroyed. Completely destroyed. I like the fact that there's one single wing left.
And he's holding dramatically, too. It's like he's holding the fallen remains of a soldier.
No more turkey soup. No. I'm sorry. Is
turkey sandwiches. No turkey soup. No turkey salad.
Is it him? Is it the dad? No,
it's Ralph.
It's Ralphie. Okay, that's
Ralph's
what I thought.
monologue.
That's what I thought. Okay, yeah. And then, of course, I love the fact that they end up in a Chinese restaurant at Christmas. And
you can tell it's a Chinese restaurant that's been converted from a bowling alley, too, if you look closely.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And, they're all pretty much, they bring out Chinese duck. And,
and the mother is just horrified and starts sobbing.
And this was improv, too, by the way. It was. This little moment was improvised.
What, the sobbing?
The reaction, like they didn't know that was coming. I assumed the actor, the Asian actor, was instructed to cut the head off, but none of them knew what was coming.
Oh God.
Pretty much. It might have been completely improvised. I'm not sure, like him cutting off the head like that. Anyways, the point is.
I've had duck before, and it's pretty good, but I would not eat that. I would not eat something that has not had its head cut off yet before being presented to me.
It's smiling at me. Oh, ha, ha, ha. Cuts the head off. It's amazing. And then the ending with them with the lights too.
Yeah, very nice, sort of. The ending is almost kind of like a Christmas card in itself. You know what I mean?
It looks beautiful.
Or like a family picture or something.
Yeah, it looks absolutely beautiful. Okay, my last thing, it was kind of a combination of the leg lamp scenes. Just I'll run through real quick. Just pretty much, I love the old man won a prize. It was a leg lamp. Basically he treats this thing like a trophy. It's his major award for getting a Lone Ranger question right, like a real obvious one too, apparently. And I love the build. The scene was pretty neat, just kind of like him rolling his eyes like the kid who won't eat, and then pretty much I just love this is my most nostalgic scene. Just the atmosphere of like the mysterious of what's in the box.
What's in the box?
Yes, opening the thing.
Alert attack when it Paltrow's head.
And my favorite line is in this scene from the whole special. Fragile. It's silly. It's so funny, and it's pretty much the mother sees this as like kind of pornography in her house, and she feels threatened by it, even though she won't admit it. Ralphie's like feeling like, oh, leg. And for the father, again, I love how the old man doesn't see it as a sexual object. He sees it as purely a trophy. There's not an ounce of lust or anything in there. And for his mother, it's implied that she sabotages the. I believe she maybe intentionally breaks it. It's broken. Basically, he can't find the glue. I used it all. We ran out. You used all. I love the rage in David McGavin's.
Oh yeah, he's great.
This scene was so great of him reacting to basically the broken lamp as if it was a fallen comrade, and just pretty much he's so mad at her. Again, it shows like the ups and downs of the marriage, pretty much over a plastic lamp. And pretty much he just. My favorite though, I love how this scene ends. Pretty much Ralphie saying, narration saying, you know, he buried it in the backyard, and it sounded. I couldn't place it, but it sounded like taps were being played. You know, dun dun dun. You know, the funeral. Yeah. I gotta tell you, the music, it makes you feel it too. It's so silly. It makes you feel it though. And real quick, I gotta get through this scene just real quick. Sorry. I love the. It's just nostalgic. I think all of us can relate to this moment of. A big plot point is that you'll notice Ralphie, after everyone shot him down about the BB gun, it's Christmas morning. There are great unwrapping montage, not montage, just them unwrapping all the gifts, really cool old 50s looking toys or 40s looking toys. And it looks like Ralphie's just sitting down with the parents and pretty much saying, "Oh, did you get everything you want?" "Nah, not really." "Was, man, always next year." "Hey, what's that over there?" Old man points out, and it's wrapped in a really nice looking box. A little nice wrapping paper, nice on it. He opens up, and the mother. It's such a realistic thing. Parents have gone through this thing. Everyone's gone through this thing. And parents saying, "Ah, surprise."
Of course.
And he's right off. Santa Claus brought it.
I mean, I feel like this movie. I feel like people give it a lot of credit for nostalgia that it doesn't really deserve. But this is definitely one of the moments that they hit it over the head.
What it's so brilliant about this scene, Tiki, is that if you look at the whole context of the movie, Ralphie went to everybody. But the old man, the one he didn't even consider would be the one to get at this for him. He's the one who came through for him, and he didn't ask him or anything. He came through it on his own. That's so great. It's like the bond.
I didn't even think about that. That's a good point.
The bond between father and son was so strong, even though it wasn't like a really overt bond. It was always there, and it's always there. He came through from the day like, all fathers usually come through for their sons,
Sure.
Okay, that's all my scenes. I just love those scenes. I love this nostalgia for that scene is really good.
All right.
What's our good and what's our bad? We pretty much know what the bad is. What's our good?
Well, can I mention one other thing about the bad?
Can we go through the good first?
I guess. Well.
Okay, fine. Let's go through the bad. What do we got in the naughty? What do you got?
You're probably going to disagree with me. I know most people watching are probably going to disagree with me. I don't really care for the narration.
What?
I don't mind that it's in there. I just think that it's in there too much.
Well, I mean,
to the point where I kind of feel like, and this is like a big thing for me as a writer, I hate it whenever movies break the show don't tell rule, and I feel like with the narration we kind of do get that a little bit.
So if I'm understanding you correctly, what you're saying is you would have preferred if it was just like him describing like the setting. And maybe only when it was completely necessary, have like Ralph's inner monologue come out during the scene.
Maybe have the inner monologues only come out during the fantasy sequences or something like that.
Well, that'd be more. That for me is kind of reverse. I would have show don't tell during that, and not any of it during the fantasies.
Okay, I don't know. We're just looking at this from different. I mean, it's like I see why people like it, and it's definitely a soothing voice and a good narration, a lot of good lines in it. Like I said, it's just. I think it gets a little overbearing.
I don't know. It never bothered me. He is really good. It's the soothing voice. It sounds good to me. I just never bothered me. I don't know.
All right. Well, like I said, I know that I'm probably like the only person on this fucking planet that feels that way. So whatever.
Only bad thing I could say about it is oversaturation, which I can't fault the physical film for. It's just only watch it around Christmas time. Watch it a reasonable amount of time. That's all I can say to you for that. So
I don't necessarily think the film has the strongest plot either. I mean, it's
a more of a vignette piece. That's why.
I just, is it a problem that I don't like vignette pieces? Because I really kind of don't. Yeah, it's a taste thing. Yeah. I don't know. To me, it's just kind of like, yeah.
If anything,
stuff happens.
Something
Go
I can
nuts for it. Holy shit! Suck the movie's dick.
Well, something I can give you definitely is that there's one bit in the movie that I think definitely could have been cut out for time. It just kind of detracts from the whole Red Rider plot, because that's the main through line you have to have. Like the bully thing, we'll keep in there because you gotta have like the whole Ralphie mom moment coming up. But
I agree, that was a good moment. But
that was good. Here's the one moment though I would say it's fun. It's like I want to say anachronistic, if I'm using that word right, of the period. The whole radio scene with Little Orphan Annie.
Oh yeah, right.
I gotta tell you, that just seems to me it's fun. I appreciate. I like the whole decoder pin. I love the scene. I just really looking at it in terms of the plot. It's really the most unnecessary runner we got.
Okay, what do you think? Like we barely mentioned it. So what do you think of the whole tongue scene?
Oh yeah, you mean that's fun. That's just establishing kind of the humor of the movie. Yeah, that's a necessary one. It also shows that. Again,
it's another one for me where I kind of felt it was unnecessary.
Well, it's showing some of the wacky stuff that Ralphie can get into, which I think maybe eases us in terms of plot. Eases us into scenes later on where he's going to do the whole soap bit and stuff. Like it's going to issue. Maybe it's like showing that the kid's rambunctious, not completely good or anything.
I don't really like his friends either. I think his friends are kind of annoying.
I'll give you that. One of his friends bugs me. I like Flick. I believe it's Flick, the one who gets stuck to the pole. I like him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like the other one. Just seems a little unpleasant. The one with the goofy stocking cap, who basically
right, yeah.
He gets. And I can't. Do you remember which one gets beaten? Is it Flick who gets beaten, or is it the other kid? Do you remember?
I could not tell you for the life.
I don't. If it's Flick, I feel bad for the kid who gets beaten because Ralph kind of blames him instead of his father.
I mean, one thing I can definitely say about that scene is like definitely like cringe-inducing in terms of pain.
Yeah, how scary is that? Basically, it's she's on the phone, and I love how Ralph's mom feels really bad about it too, because she feels like, oh no, I didn't. You get a sense that she doesn't want a hand raised at her kids either. Pretty much. She tells her, oh yeah, I heard it from that, and go up on the other line, you can hear every word she's saying. Oh, I probably heard it from his father. What? He said what? And just she instantly goes to the other room and beats the living crap out of the kid. I didn't do anything. No wired hanger. Sorry, wrong movie. But yeah, pretty much the last thing about the pole scene. There. It's putting there mainly to establish kind of the old things of the period, like kids would do that, and be kind of a fuzz. You're right. It is more so just to kind of get you in the time frame and stuff. But I think it's more directly kind of saying, yeah, we're kind of like your Porky's.
It's one of those scenes again. It's like so many people go on and on and on about this scene, and I'm like, to me, it's just kind of cringe-inducing.
Well, I mean, it's just...
cringe-inducing in a good way, I guess, because it effectively makes you cringe when they pull them from the, from the actual pole, but I don't know, that's about the only thing I actually get off of.
The thing I really like in this scene, the thing I think the real comedy's coming from is Ralph's reaction along with... Ralph's reaction along with his friend, pretty much like Ralph being kind of the rational guy saying, no. Pretty saying, okay, this has gotten that, and then basically the funny payoff is like the teacher. He has kind of a thing going on with pretty much like he tries to bribe her pretty much, doesn't work. You get a sense that what the director tried to see in the scene, I gather, he was trying to really go for the Porky's thing in this scene. Pretty much anything that happens at school is pretty much trying to say these kids are like Porky's kids, just younger.
Right,
But
right.
again, I know you haven't seen it, so I'm not going to bore you with that. But mainly, basically saying, if anyone's responsible, come forward. And his monologue says, his narration says, that's key. Only a fool would turn himself in given that position, which that was funny to me. That's showing you Ralphie's clever. The whole scene, pretty much saying,
Yeah.
I know how to stay out of this. No,
All
you're right. You're
right.
right. It is kind of, yeah. It mixes in with the oversaturation for me. But let me get through the.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so go ahead and get to some pros. I'll leave you to that mostly.
Okay, pros again. Really nostalgic. Really quotable. Love the setting.
I don't consider that a pro. I
What
consider it obnoxious.
quotable?
Yeah.
No, I mean I'm more so for the quotes that aren't quoted that often, like the whole triple dog dare. I'm more so for the whole don't anybody move in fragile. Come on, fragile is funny.
Okay, yeah, no, I'll admit
That's what I'm
that. I'm just saying the oversaturated quotes are annoying as hell.
Yeah. Uh, Also, the setting that you gotta admit the setting and the pretty much the time period, it looks flawed. And this was made in like I believe it was made in the 80s, I think.
I'll admit that. I'll admit that for sure. I can't knock this movie for not. It definitely feels like Christmas and has the Christmas spirit and everything. It has a good setting.
You know something cool they did with the sets?
What?
Remember that on Christmas Day when Ralph looks out his window and he sees like the outside of all the frozen water, all the.
Yeah, yeah.
Now what they did the night before, like early in the morning somehow, they took a fire hose and they sprayed it all to make the icicles.
Oh wow. Huh.
Yeah, there's attention to detail there.
Yeah.
Let me think of anything else real important. I think overall with this movie, it was ground at the time. It was groundbreaking in terms of it was pushing the envelope for like holidays, for a holiday movie that
That
really.
was cynical.
Yeah, exactly. It was one of the first ones. You got to remember. Yeah, it was one of the first ones that was cynical, a bit. Not I don't
And
want
it's
to say
kind of
rude.
funny because I mean, looking back on it, I think if anything, it's a little too syrupy. Even though I acknowledge, yeah, it was kind of groundbreaking at the time.
Yeah, I mean, you saw kids act like kids and being rambunctious and stuff. And again, it really just it holds up extremely well, I think, because it's set in the time period.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
It's like looking at like this is the movie you definitely want you watch with your family, especially your grandparents. They will love the thing.
I mean,
It takes them back to their
yeah,
time.
I remember watching it with my grandparents, and I remember them absolutely loving it, and I remember myself being like, okay, this is kind of funny in some parts, but I don't get why like I said, it's like Ghostbusters for me. Like, I don't get why people go absolutely fucking nuts for Ghostbusters. It's one of those movies for me. It's like I get it. I guess it's funny. It's got good cut. It's got a good cast. I just don't see what's so revolutionary about it.
Well, I think real quick, just I think it was because it was kind of a superhero movie that wasn't exactly a superhero.
Well, with Ghostbusters.
Yeah, it wasn't technically a
I
superhero
guess
movie.
it's like, the thing is, I love paranormal stuff, so you'd think that'd be right up my alley. I don't know.
Anyway, so yeah, pretty much that, and like again, the relationships are done really well, real realistically, especially fitting within that time. Most definitely, it was really it was really fun. That they had a lot
Sure,
of
sure.
had a lot of good stuff going for it. Really good production values, good actors, everything. It seemed good.
And it had the director that would give us the Baby Geniuses movies.
Also, he actually did a. To be honest, I believe it was a year later, if I'm right. He did a horror movie.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah, he did a really good horror movie. I watched it. I cannot for the life of me.
Oh, you didn't watch a horror movie? I'm surprised.
Well, it wasn't by choice. Plus, it was Blake Larkin. It was less of a horror movie, it was more of a not even a. I want to say slasher movie. People died, but it wasn't gruesomely. It was like
Oh,
off-screen death. Like a guy, pretty much you in the POV
it's
of the
kind of more of
killer.
a thriller.
Yeah, it was like it was really yeah thriller. Yeah,
Sure.
it was a really good thriller movie. Where pretty much you're from the killer's POV. It was shot really eerily, like you're in like a almost stalker's view of killing people.
Sure.
And pretty much he calls you, and then pretty much you die.
Oh no.
I know it's kind of yeah, but it was also I think it might also have been set around
So
Christmas
it's
time.
like kind of like The Ring / One Missed Call / I don't know.
Yeah, also it was set around Christmas time also. So one dark Christmas movie, one family loved Christmas movie.
I wouldn't mind doing like a podcast at some point, like maybe like if we can fit it in like a bonus podcast. Just not talking about any movie in particular, just talking about movies set during Christmas that people don't think of as Christmas movies.
Well, let's just, Tiki, I have plans for that. We'll go through them at some
you?
point. But,
okay.
Anyway, so yeah, pretty much that's all the good I have to say. I guess how does it stack up, Tiki? I know you can kind of get a record.
No, I mean it's a classic, and I think it. I just wish it wasn't so oversaturated. That's all I'm saying. If it wasn't so oversaturated, and if people didn't go so nuts for it.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Again, I cannot hold that against the movie though itself. I never knew it was going to be. So
for that reason, I gotta say, yeah, it absolutely holds up. I mean, there's a reason they play it on TBS over and over and over again.
Yeah, so I mean, it's justified at least being every year. I'm not saying 24 hours every year. I'm saying every year though, coming back. It's worth coming back.
I mean, yeah, sure. You definitely raised a lot of good points in terms of I to tell you the truth, I haven't really thought about the dark edges of this movie and the fact that it was one of the first cynical Christmas movies. So that makes me kind of get a little bit more respect for it. But I know, like I said, I have my issues with it. I definitely think the whole thing's a little too syrupy for my taste, but that's just me in general. I definitely think the narration was kind of a little bit show don't tell-y, if that makes it. You know what show don't tell is,
I think you mean tell no show, but yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. And certainly there's quite a few kids in the cast that can get really obnoxious.
Yeah, well, again, early kid actors, so you can only do so well with the kid actors back then. I mean, now we don't have Bruce Waynes like we do now.
Yeah, but we have Ivy Peppers.
Good point. But even though I'm softer on the kid, but yeah, we'll get to that.
Yeah. Okay, but yeah, overall, I mean, I can't not say it's a classic, and I can't in all rightfulness say that it doesn't deserve to be a classic. I can't say that. I don't think it deserves the over-the-top hype that it gets, though.
Well, think about the hype. I don't know. I guess it. I think it's earned a certain amount of that hype. You know, like pretty much people know this movie like the back of their hand, especially now. So pretty much, I think the hype's died down because of that fact, because it comes on every year, 24 hours a day. The novelty's ran. Like when they did that, like the first time, 24 hours a day, that's something. That's one thing. That's kind of neat. Pretty much everyone gets it out of the system one time, but then they do it every year, over and over again. That's when it gets oversaturated.
Like, okay, like I've seen this movie like 10 times now. Thank you.
I mean, guys. I mean, we like the movie, but we have to miss the movie a little. But pretty much,
exactly.
To be fair, though, it's kind of strange that pretty much
being apart only makes the heart grow fonder.
No, here's the funny thing though is like it's trying to compensate for all the other seasons, the other months in the year when it didn't air.
What do you mean?
It's like airing like all the times it could have aired on TV in one day, like a few days.
Oh God, you're right.
It's pretty funny, but yeah, it's a beloved classic for good reason. I'd say. Oh, man, just again, we can't take points off for the oversaturation. Your points of like the narration and stuff. That's I think at the end of the day, just kind of it's like flaws after we've seen it so many times. But deep down, you gotta have a fondness for a Christmas Story. It deserves being a classic because it's. When you think of Christmas time, this literally is Christmas in the title, and it's one of those titles deserving of having Christmas in it.
Yeah, sure. I'll give you that much. All right. Well, before we get into the, or do you have anything else to say?
One second. Let me just make sure I didn't miss anything I want to say here. I'll tell you one thing. It was so It's really good. It's a classic. But speaking of classics, what's something you should never do to it? Something kind of dishonored the memory. I think.
Oh dear.
The sequel. There were two sequels. One wasn't halfway decent. You can respect it a little more. My Summer Story. That was just them doing it was a sequel in terms. It was during the summer. Summer vacation.
Now was that actually done like around the same time period?
It was in the 90s. It was set in the same time period of the movie.
Okay, but it was still at least it was like was it within 10 years of the first one coming out? But at least.
Well, you mean like when the movie was made? It was made like in the
Yeah.
90s. This movie was made in the 80s. My Summer Story was made in the 90s. So
Okay.
there's a gap there for. They had good people in that one too. Charles Grodin, Mary Steenburgen. They replaced the roles because I don't know when McGavin might have been dead, or at least very at least he would have been really old by the time they made that. At least older, sorry. Like
Sure.
and they didn't age the kid. That was a big factor. They kept the kid the same age that they recast. They recast everybody in that movie pretty much, except the teacher. Teacher came back.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's funny. Okay, and then the bad one, of course.
The bad one. This one, I remember when I first saw it, I was like in disbelief, like when that whole Jingle All the Way 2 thing started. And now, unfortunately, it's reality. That depresses me. Now it's reality. But
the only thing I know about Christmas Story 2 is from the review that Mike J did of it.
I saw the trailer, and I pretty much I was just dumbfounded, like, oh no. I mean, the only positive thing I could just work in is something positive. It's like, well, it looks like it's set in the 50s. It looks kind of nice. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. And it's ridiculous. Why would you, if you play something over and over again on like Christmas and Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, why would you try to cheapen that? Why would, and you're not even going to release it theatrically? That shows you don't have faith in it. So why are you blowing money on this?
Oh yeah.
It's like, do you want to make a story? No. Do you want to cash in? You're not going to make any money.
They actually did age all the kids in the sequel, of course.
Yeah, which is it's like, no. Oh god, it's terrible. Terrible idea. It's
like, ooh, look, adult Ralphie is in the bunny costume now. Ooh.
Again, that's just cashing in on. It's lazy. It's like you send these like the Hollywood producers you see like cartoony in the movies and stuff. Everyone's like, oh, how are we gonna make money today?
Right.
Well, let's make a sequel to Christmas Story. People love Christmas. We air 24 hours a day. Imagine we air another special, another 24 hours a day, a sequel to it. Huh?
Oh, yeah, because people are totally going to watch Christmas Story 2 for 24 hours straight.
Yeah, obviously it didn't pan out. That just shows a failure like that just makes you look. Even looking at the some of the reception, at pretty much saying, well, why am I not watching the original if I'm watching this? Pretty much that just brings you back. This is a classic for that reason. That people instantly, no one, you can tell this movie the sequel did not make enough money back. It's such a horrible idea. I wouldn't imagine anyone buying into it. Even only out of absolute morbid curiosity would someone buy that movie.
Like, I have a very morbid curiosity about Kirk Cameron savoring Christmas.
Jeez. But overall, yeah, this movie has a lot of iconic scenes, a lot of iconic vignettes. At the very least, you can definitely say this film is most certainly iconic, if anything.
Oh yeah, oh absolutely.
This movie put the leg lamp on the map. So I mean, it's fun stuff. It's stuff it's really nostalgic. It's fun, classic. That's all I can really say about it. It's time to wrap up now. Oh right, you want to peek at the Christmas presents for next time, don't you?
Yes. What is under the tree for tomorrow night's get together?
Okay, well it's a Red Ryder BB gun. No, it's something that travels, isn't it?
Huh?
It's something that travels, isn't it?
Well, yes, that's one of them, but tell me the one that I don't know.
Well, I'm speaking of something based on a children's book.
Yeah, I know, and that's the one that I know that we're gonna do. Tell me the one that I don't know, so I can be surprised.
Oh, you want me to tell you that one now?
Yeah.
I was not prepared for that.
I said before we started, I was like, yeah, tell me the one that I don't know we're going to do yet. I want to be surprised on air.
Yeah, I thought you meant when we do the next one.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Okay. Well, the next one we're doing is Polar Express. Give your thoughts on that while I look up what we're doing next after that.
Okay, my thoughts on Polar Express. Creepy as fuck! Creepy as fuck! Like, you're really gonna make me watch Polar Express?
Yes, I am.
I'm kidding. It's not. It's not as torturous as the fact that you're gonna make me watch Elf. But Polar Express, I don't know. I think it's a Tom Hanks vanity project in a lot of ways, and I think that's something that kind of reeks of it. It's like Tom Hanks is literally all over the movie, and it's really weird, and it kind of makes the movie kind of an enigma. It's just like, oh, it's Tom Hanks, and Tom Hanks, and Tom Hanks, and Tom Hanks, and Tom Hanks. So, I don't know. I've only seen it a couple times, so, but the word that comes to mind right off the top of my head is definitely creepy. Definitely creepy, so we'll be talking a lot about that.
All right, I got it. I know you're gonna like what we're doing next. You ready?
Oh, okay, okay.
Okay, you sure you're ready?
No, I'm not sure, but just tell us.
Well, folks, we're in our categories. We're going to approach our second special. Really, a really good one. An original one. Something we did last on Christmas in July was we discussed the Breaking Bad Christmas special, ideas for what if Breaking Bad did a Christmas special. In this case, we're doing another one of the shows we really love, Bates Motel Christmas.
Oh God.
Or a holiday at Bates Motel.
Okay, I'm gonna really have to go to the drawing boards on this one. I haven't put much thought into it yet.
So that's what we'll be doing after Polar Express.
Oh, okay. Well, that'll be fun. Yeah. Oh my God. Norman! I have a present for you.
Norman!
Whoa! Oh, I'm sorry. Speakers fell out. Okay, let's get to the outro. Let's do it. I'm sorry. You there? Hello? Oh no. What did I do? Dragon! Oh gosh. My speakers fell down. Okay. Well, I guess we will see you next time, folks. We will see you next time with even more seasonal shenanigans. Fa la 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 la.